I'm Arthur Moats, and I'm here to tell you about my new book, The Moats Theory of Life. If you haven't picked up a copy yet, I strongly encourage you to. This book not only is a fun read, but it's a guide to helping you become a person of impact and inspiration. If you are ready to take the next step to improving not only your life, but those around you as well, go get a copy of The Moats Theory of Life, and it's available at moatstheory.com. What's up? It's the Arthur Moats Experience with Deke. I'm Arthur Moats, and that's my main man, Deke.
What's up, bro?
Man, who would have thought me saying that's my main man, Deke, would become a part of our signature, bro? This is kind of cool. For those that weren't in attendance and those that don't know, me and Deke had a signing. We had a public appearance this weekend. And every time we sign autographs, when we sign the podcast image, the one that you see when we're starting out the episodes and stuff, sign mine on the left. My main man, Deke. And then good old Deke. Tell them your variations of signatures, man. What was your little tag at the end, man?
Well, first, I didn't know what to do because I never actually signed Deke.
You did ask that, too.
I know, it was my first one. I'm like, wait, do I just sign how I've always signed my stuff? Like on my driver's license, on just signatures at the bottom of papers and stuff. Do I sign it like that, or do I sign it Deke? Now, this sounds really petty and probably sounds like, oh, wow, great problem to have, dude. Like, I can't believe you're worried about this type of stuff. But it was something in my mind because it's like once you start,
do it, you're committed to it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, you know what, dude? I just went with Deke.
I like it. It looked good.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, Deke is a iteration of my last name. So I kept the D similar, obviously the E. I just couldn't keep the K the same. Usually I got the big K.
Right.
Because that's just how my last name is, but I had to go little K and then E. I tried to keep it like a similar form, you know, as how I normally would sign with my full last name. So I got over that. That was the first signature. And I was like, all right, I'm good to go then with this. The whole thing was like, remember at the beginning, I was like, am I going to get over 2 signatures here? But right off the bat, we had the homie roll up to us and was like, yo, I'm a big fan of the podcast.
Absolutely.
Like,
I mean, we were in the parking lot. We didn't even get inside yet.
He had a custom logo printed out for us, and it was the OG logo.
It was.
Dude, it was just
hard.
It was dope, like right off the bat. He was a big fan. He was a big Ben fan too. Yeah. He was like,
shout out, he had the Pouncey jersey on with the black and gold 12s. I was man, he had the fit going. It looked good, man.
No, he definitely did.
Yeah.
And so got the one off the bat, but then hit 2 in there at some point. And then, you know, I probably got up there with I don't know how many I said. It was like 6, 7, 8, maybe 9, 10.
You
I don't know.
definitely had way more than that, man.
But then we signed the batch of things for the company because they were gonna sell them. It was
Iron City Sports, man. Shout out to them for that, man. They put on the event. It was a really good turnout. I was surprised, man, because that was their first event since the pandemic started. I don't know about you. That was my first.
I'm doing all these signings on the side.
Oh, you never know, man. So because for me, like I said, I did a commencement speech for a graduation. Yeah. So that was like my first being out around people event. But then that was my first close proximity because with the graduation, I was on the stage. Everybody was spaced out. It was no, let's shake hands and do all that stuff. Whereas at this event, I mean, you saw it was close proximity and stuff like that, man. But it was pretty dope, man.
No, it was awesome. But then with the signatures, They came with those logos, the printed out logos, and some people had Post-it notes on them of things for us to sign with our names. Like, you know, if someone comes up to you for a book signing or signing the jersey, like, yo, can you make it out to this person and can you write this for me? Yeah, sure. Post-it notes on these printed out logos. Yours said, my main man, Deke. This is what they want you to write. And then for mine, it was a combination of number 1 Big Ben fan. I love Big Ben, and
I love Big Ben. Deke.
That was, people were trying to get that going. I didn't write that down.
Big Ben's Deke. You thought about it. It looked like you was having an internal battle for a little while, man.
Because I appreciate funny. That's the thing.
That was funny.
I appreciate funny, but I was just like, I'm not doing this.
That's too funny.
Too funny. I don't know if there's a thing of too funny. It's just talking about it is really funny, but then writing it down, it's like one of those things.
It'll take it too far for you?
No, it's like in a year or two, it's like,
you're not going to lose your love for Big Ben. Let's be real about it. It's different if you're writing it to somebody else.
I'd be like, I shouldn't have wrote that.
No, not you, man. You love
I am pretty shameless.
Yeah.
It's where it's just like, I don't really give a crap. But
like if somebody...
I decided against it. I just, I wasn't doing it.
I mean, it was...
That's where I draw the line.
Bro, it was hilarious, man. Just seeing your whole face. And the thing that made it even better was it wasn't like I was the one who prompted this either.
Oh, they get it.
They tune in. So shout out to everybody that listens, man. It really does feel good to know, like, oh, these people really are rocking with the show to that standpoint, man. But yeah, without a doubt, they were 100% on it. Like, Deke, you got to write this. Put a heart this time. We like, God dang, all right. Mine was simple. I just said it was wordy. My main man, Deke. I said next time I'm coming up with something quicker, like shout out Deke, and just leave it at that. Cause my main man, I was like, yo, God, dog, this is nuts. But man, I love seeing a little heart. You drew a nice heart. We should have took a picture of the heart.
I might because I was taking videos throughout. I might have a vid or two of it, and then I decided because they were. It was basically an iteration of number one Big Ben fan. I love Big Ben.
I love Big Ben's Deke.
No, I didn't write that.
I mean, it was debatable. It was like about to.
But then I decided, I was like, wait, what about this? Big Ben equals GOAT. That's a simple one. So I went with that. So it was a combination of those throughout the rest of my signings. But yeah, it was good, man. I don't know. I appreciate that stuff because it's like you said, people get the show and it's like. I'm a Big Ben fan. I'll be straight up about it.
And I will commend you too, man. Two things.
What?
One about the event and one post event.
Okay.
Showing up to the event, we got to give Deke a round of applause because we know Deke, man. Deke is the true definition of chilling. If you look up chilling, that's what Deke is, man. Usually his outfit is very chilled and things like that. But I will tell you this. Deke showed up button up, dress pants, dress shoes. He did not look disheveled at all. I was extremely impressed. That's the first thing I said to him when I got the car. I said, dang, dude, you look nice. And I just wanted to let you know I appreciate you. And let the people know on the airwaves and on the videos that we appreciate you because we know, man, this is Deke. Deke is chill. Deke, you got the white man can't jump Woody Harrelson vibe. Like, that's just you.
Yeah.
But you were nice. The only thing you didn't have one was the tie. I was surprised, man.
Tie doesn't go with that shirt.
But you had the dress shirt, but you did have you did have a mask too. It was like a shirt mask.
It was a shirt.
And you kept it over your nose. I was proud of you too, man.
I'm not wearing a mask. So I grabbed a shirt. Shout out to my boy down at No Lack Nation.
There we go.
That's all I did was wrapped it around my face. But yeah, I'm not wearing a mask. I'll do the whole shirt thing. But yeah, I told you, man. I told you I'm gonna accommodate for. Hey, that's the rules of the hotel. It's like you got to wear a mask going in. I'm not happy about it. It's not how I'd be running things. But you know, if you're going in the hotel, you gotta roll with that.
I just like how your self-inflicted revolt caused you some pain because you were talking about you were a little hot. We were all talking about like our faces getting warm. I'm like, you got a whole shirt just draped on you though, baby. I said you probably get a little more air in there if you had something thinner on, man.
I don't think I was hot. I think it was like the thing was weighing down on my nose a little bit. That's what it was.
Yeah, the whole just cotton shirt just hanging on you, man. That's extra material, baby.
Yeah, and sometimes how I'd have it tied in the back would come undone a little bit, but it was fine all around. Man,
you I'm not
complaining.
Man. Nah, you look good. I just wanted to let you know that, man.
I wish I didn't wear that stuff, to be honest with you.
Nah, man, you were sharp, bro.
It was based off a suggestion from my dad.
It was a great suggestion too. Because we talked about it. We said you'd rather be overdressed than underdressed. For me, because I didn't know the attire, I told you if I don't know the attire, I'm just gonna heavily accessorize. I'm gonna all right, let's throw on this nice piece of jewelry, that jewelry, so that way you're kind of like, oh, he's kind of dressed up, kind of dressed down. I don't really know he's good for all occasions.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Just because I didn't know what to expect. I thought it might be a huge conference room. Yeah. I don't know. I just didn't know what the vibe was going to be completely. And yeah, I probably did overdress. But hey, you're right. I guess
you'd rather be overdressed than underdressed.
Looking
always,
back,
baby.
Because I didn't know what to expect. It could have been a completely different environment.
Yeah, absolutely.
It could have been. But yeah. And I think what I wore worked. Like, it wasn't too overdressed.
No, it was good. It was good. Yeah. It was like what we call like a business casual type thing, man. So you can never go wrong with that. I mean, shout out, we even got to see was the Steelers Pope was in there too, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to him, man. He was fun to be around, man. And we got some intel about his dress attire and why he dresses like that too, man.
It was dope, man.
It was, man.
It was dope. what did he say? He said drugs, but then
that's what he initiated. So yo, why do you dress like that? Drugs, a lot of drugs.
He said he started doing a Christmas Santa thing, but then he wanted to do something all year round. So then he had to transition to Pope because that's something you could do all year round.
And he said his wife makes his attire along with his mask and stuff as well, man. That was pretty dope, man.
It was, yeah.
Shout out to the Steelers Pope, man.
Yeah, the whole experience was good, man. I really enjoyed it.
Well, and like I say, it was a good turnout, man. I was really surprised at how many people were there. I mean, apparently the event went on from 8 in the morning to I think 5 o'clock at night. We were only there for a couple hours, but that was a good time, man. So shout out to Iron City Sports. Shout out to everybody that came through, and shout out to everybody that's be checking us out, man. We appreciate y'all.
Yeah, that was cool. That was really cool.
We need more of these in-person events, man. It's what we had good vibes. Even saw some tailgate homies out there too, man. So
I know Steeler gang. It was cool
everywhere,
man.
Bro.
It was cool.
Everywhere.
That's definitely something we've been missing because even like after the season, we've talked before and going out to lunch and stuff about just plans we were gonna have in the off season. It's like
both national and international. Like,
we haven't been able to do any of that, and at least we got a little bit of a taste with this signing thing of getting back to some of those grassroots stuff that we've been doing, which is really fun. Yeah. That's the stuff I really appreciate.
Yeah, heck yeah, man. It was a blast, man. So that was dope this weekend, man. We also had big news in the NFL world, man.
Just dropped today.
Yeah, just actually this morning, man. The Washington football team hired a new team president, first African American team president in NFL history as well, man. This is a huge milestone. His name is Jason Wright. He played 7 years in the NFL. He's with the Falcons, the Browns, the 49ers, and the Cardinals. I think his last year would have been 2010, graduated out of Northwestern and was a walk-on, man. I thought that was pretty cool, though. I believe he's 38 years old as well. I thought it was cool, not even from the African-American side of it, because, I mean, that's historic. You think about how long the NFL has been just going. I mean, it was 100+ years now, and this is the first African-American team president in NFL history. I mean, obviously, that's a major milestone. But the things that I looked at, I said, dude, you're 38. That's 6 years older than me. I was like, yo, that is awesome. Then I love the fact that he started as an undrafted free agent. Played 7 years, undrafted free agent, 7 years, 4 teams. And now you are a team president. Like, dude, you talk about the
making moves.
Like, that's major, man. Like, I know, and it's something that I've even, like, me and Ryan, we would joke all the time about stuff like this. Like, man, do you want to be the youngest head coach? He's like, I want to be the youngest. Like,
wait, Ryan who?
Shazier.
Oh, gotcha.
It was times like we would joke about this, like obviously while he was playing and stuff like that, and we would joke like, "Yo, you want to be the youngest head coach?" Because obviously Coach Tomlin at the time was that, and we're like, "Nah, man, we'd rather be like the youngest president or youngest owner or youngest GM or something." And then to actually see this, because when you're saying it, you're just throwing it out there. You really don't think that something like that could really happen because you haven't seen a blueprint for that. You haven't seen a younger person, or let alone an African American, even be in that role. But to see that,
well, I think I was just reading too. There's only been 4 former players. Like he's the 4th
on top
now.
Of that, right? So it's like you see all of these different variables. You're like, dang. So it really is a reality. It's something that can really happen, and you don't have to wait until your 40s, 50s, sometimes even 60s to accomplish this. I mean, this dude, like I said, at 38 years old, is the president of the Washington football team. Like, just put that in context, dude. That is insane, man. And to do it from a walk-on makes it even better, because I'm like, if a guy like a Peyton Manning or a Tom Brady, even a Ben Roethlisberger makes that transition, a little bit of it you're going to kind of discredit and say, well, it's more so because of the talent they had on the field, less or less of them just being
or even
just qualified,
or even just cachet they have in a community, or just as an overall aura,
right?
You know,
yeah. So we would feel like it's a lot more that went into it. Whereas with this guy right here, he doesn't have those type of accolades. He isn't an all-world guy. He wasn't even, Ohio State or Michigan. Like I said, he went to Northwestern. But when you look at his business background, he got his MBA once he finished playing
I was
football.
just about to ask, what's his background in making these steps to get
once he retired, in 2010, he went and got his MBA. And then from there, he I forgot the name of the company, but he was huge in terms of he was a partner in this African-American economic group in terms of like helping them improve their status, not only from a business standpoint, but in the community. And that's really what got him on the radar. And he did that. Like I said, he was still super young. Like I said, at 38 years old, this dude's not even 40 yet. Just put that in context, dude. It's crazy. But that was like the big step for him. And then that's why Washington brought him on, especially for the business element of it, because the rebranding that they're going through right now in terms of changing who they are, both on the field, off the field, culture, everything, this is what he specializes in. This is what he has the most experience in terms of making these type of changes. And he's very successful with it. And I had a chance to watch him a little bit this morning. He was doing an interview with Stephen A. And they were kind of asking him some questions in terms of like just his thought process about it. What was he feeling when he found out he was the hire and things like that, and the significance of it. And he was like, obviously it's significant from the African-American standpoint, but he was like, he doesn't want that to be overshadowing the fact that he was the most qualified for. He doesn't want it to overshadow guys like Ron Rivera, who's the head coach, is going to be acting as GM right now, in terms of being another minority, in terms of him just being qualified for that spot, not because he's a minority, or I'm drawing a blank on the woman who they have hired in an executive role as well. He's like, he doesn't want people to think that Snyder's just doing this to kind of save face for the name and how everything was going with that when it changed and stuff. He was like, just looking at how they're as a culture trying to make changes and make it for just better in general, and not isolating certain categories of people. He was like, that's what he wants to really stand out the most, because he's like, all three of us are extremely qualified in what we do. Right. We have really extensive backgrounds in what we do, and we feel like we can make this the most successful. And just hearing him, I was like, man, it got me excited, man. I'm not even gonna lie about it, man. So if y'all see me pop up with like a Washington football shirt on, man, don't trip, baby. Don't trip at all. I'm telling you. All right, I'm telling you, it's a reason.
Like within, when would that happen?
What you mean?
Like, are you saying within the next week or two?
I'm just saying, don't be surprised.
Man,
don't be surprised. Dude. See, it's different, right? Because for you, every team president, every owner has looked like you, right?
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
Now you get what I'm saying. Okay.
I get what you're saying. Okay. I just.
Oh, okay.
See, you've. You had Steelers, you had Bills, Cardinals. You were players, so like you don't. I just can't envision myself wearing anything outside of Steelers like that. You know what I mean?
This is historic.
I know.
It's important for the culture here.
I'm not. Yeah. I think it's a good idea. Like,
now it's a good idea. Listen, you don't know what you want to say right now, man.
I know. Hold on. I'm trying to think. I get it. I'll just put it that way. I get it.
History over fandom right now, man. That's what I'm.
I get it, baby. I get it. Yeah.
History over fandom, man. And like I said, anybody that know me knows that I was a diehard Cowboys fan growing up. So for me to even say I'm gonna wear anything Washington, that's huge. I mean, the way you feel about the Steelers and business, I felt about the Cowboys growing up. Like, man, I would have smacked you if you said anything about the Cowboys. Like, that's all I was riding with. Whereas now I'm like, man, dude, this is just history right here. This is legendary. And the fact that it's a former player on top of that, man, I feel it twofold. I'm like, I feel it from the African-American side, but also feel it from a former player side, because a lot of times, it is crazy tough to make that jump from player to front office side, unless you're a John Elway type, unless you're one of those, you know what I mean, like superstar talents coming in with a lot of money, was part of an organization for a long time. Like, that does not happen. And for this dude to be an undrafted free agent, man, essentially 7 years, you could call him a journeyman, whatever you want to call him. For him to make that type of jump, bro, at 38 years old, oh yeah, I'm supporting him, bro. I don't care. I'm supporting him off top.
All right. What? Yeah. So next podcast, week?
You like to put pigeonholes and parameters on thing. What happens if you order it? You know it's a crisis going on with the postal service right now, and it happens to be late. Now you looking like a liar.
I guess what I mean is, are you ordering it? Is it ordered already?
Hey, see, you asking too many questions.
Is it ordered already?
Just vibe. Just vibe.
I am just vibing. So it's like I'm not. I have no negative thoughts against it. I don't.
You all messed up over here right now.
I don't. It's just like because like whenever you first said it, it's just like, man, come on, you're going against the Steelers, and I'm cool with you even wearing Bills, but like how you explain it, I get it, man. That's actually that's a good thing, man.
Supporting the culture, man. Because let's be real. I mean, I wear Bills, Cardinals, Steelers stuff around the house, but when it comes to like the public representation of it, the only two teams you'll ever see me wear publicly 90% of the time is Steelers, and if I'm in Buffalo, I'm wearing the Bills stuff. But that's, like I said, just because of like my pride and how I feel about the Steelers in general. So you already know. If I'm telling you that I'm gonna wear a whole nother...
Context matters, man.
Yeah,
context matters, and you explain it like that. Yeah, dude, 100%. That's cool, man. I think it's a good idea
for the culture, man. Like, am I Washington football fan diehard? Not a chance.
It's not about that. It's not about that. No, but you know, knee jerk. As soon as you say that, it's you go into tribe mode. Like, come on, you're going against the team. Like, it just happens, man.
I understand, man.
You explaining it like that? Yeah, dude, it makes sense. That's cool.
So it's been good, man. It's a vibe, bro. I'm gonna be excited for it, man.
You're right. Like, look, I mean, that is his story. Like, that's a really cool thing, dude.
It's kind of like when Obama became the first president. I said the difference is this, though. At least with Obama, you could understand why it took so long because it's only one position. It's not like you have, you got 3 presidents or 20 presidents per year. Like, no, it's one spot, and he has that for 4 years. And if he's lucky, you get it for 8 years. With the NFL, it's like, bro, you got 32 teams. We just had a centennial season a couple years ago. And you mean to tell me there hasn't been one? Not even one? Like, that's major, man. And now for it to happen, now it's like, yes, dude, I'm supporting. Absolutely, 1,000%.
So the jersey or the shirt's ordered?
I'm supporting 1,000%, man. You think he's slick. But, man, so that was major, man, in terms of the football landscape and things like that. But then also here in Pittsburgh, because, we got to bring it back to Pittsburgh, baby. We got major moves happening right now in terms of the progression of training camp. We talked about how in the past, the first 2 weeks of camp was just strictly the players on field working out with the strength and conditioning coaches. But when it came time to be with their actual position coaches, it was only walkthroughs. It was no 11 on 11, no 7 on 7s. And then this weekend, they were able to start doing team drills, but no pads. Today, though, they get to put on the full pads. And listening to Coach Tomlin, he said that he's going to treat this as if it was a regular training camp practice. So there is no build up. There is, like some teams have talked about, we're going to have the guys in pads for a portion of the practice, take them off, or we're going to do some things, but we're not going to really hit a lot because of the context of this offseason. Coach Tomlin said this is going to be like a regular training camp practice. And you could tune in and watch some of the practices as well. The Steelers have a link on their website. So that's going to be awesome to just kind of get back to that feeling of football. I feel like for me as a former player, man, I always remembered the first day of pads. It's like you can do everything you want prior to the pads coming out. And for me, I think the reason why I never really liked practice with no pads is because I'm not gonna lie, I never felt like I was the best athlete, right? I was never the biggest, the strongest, or the fastest. And a lot of times when you're in shirts and shorts, the athletes look great. I mean, the dudes that run 4.3, the guys who could jump real high, man, this is a time where it's like, oh man, he's a Hall of Famer, first ballot. And then we put the pads on. And that's the great equalizer. That's where you get the guy who's not as fast, not as strong, not as this and that, but he hit you in the mouth and he's tough as nails. That's how they have these careers, man. And I will always love that because I used to be like, man, I watch everybody's IG. I see all the workouts, all the glamour posts, the 12-pack abs and all this stuff. And I'm like, all right, it's all gravy till I put these pads or I put this Rydell on you, man. And that changed everything, man. So I'm excited about it, man, because it is football, man. Real football, padded football. Shout out to the Vince Williamsons, the guys that will hit you in the mouth, man.
So we were talking about this a little bit before.
Mm-hmm.
They're videotaping this now. They're
it's
streaming
gonna be a live stream. Yep.
And this is gonna be pretty much after we're done recording, right?
Yeah, because
it's at 1 something.
No, practice starts usually around like 2:55. That's how it's been starting.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. So
I might have been reading the internet wrong. So are they? They're not doing the full thing, are they? I think initially we thought it was
of it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because we wanted to see the full thing, where it's just the raw tapes. But you know how it is from a PR standpoint. You might just want to get certain things out there. And
I mean, we've already seen that element of it. Well, the thing I was laughing about too was this. Initially, I was like, well, maybe they want to not show too much. But then I'm like, if this was a normal training camp, they allow fans there. How hard would it be for, if you're the Browns, for example, to just say, hey, you know what, you go over here and record this practice? Like, so it's not as if they wouldn't have seen some of the stuff that we'll be seeing anyways from a live stream standpoint. But this time around, they just want to guard it a little bit. So they said they're going to show different portions of practice from a
Is it going to be?
Standpoint.
It's going to be live stream though.
Yeah, that's what
it's still going to be live.
Yeah, they said it'll be live stream, different parts of practice. Missy Matthews will also be curating the element of the live stream, but also like you'll be able to ask her questions in real time and she'll answer right back to you and stuff like that of different things that you're seeing in practice. So it'll be interesting. Today, like I said, is the first day of it, so we're all kind of going to see what that looks like. I mean, I've heard a little bit about the context of it, but I still, you know how it is, man. You got the plan in place, you got some of the details, but it's like I need to just see what it looks like because she's supposed to be doing live questions as the practice is going on. Like I said, during practice and also post practice as well. But you're supposed to be able to just click on the link, watch it as is, and go from there. Now, like I said, I don't know how long or if it's okay doing individual, for example, because the way it works on OTAs, right, with the media. doing a stretch in individual period, right? Which is probably like the first 20 to 30 minutes of practice. The media is able to come out there and watch everything. Then when we go to our team portions, the media has to leave the field. Then when it's the last 15 minutes of practice, the media can come right back out there and see the ending of it. And then from there, obviously you have player availability for interviews. But with training camp, usually the media is out there the whole time. There is no back and forth leaving and stuff like that. So I don't know what approach they're going to take from the live stream standpoint in terms of what they want to show, what they don't want to show. But from what I'm hearing, it's supposed to be really good access. And they're trying. The biggest reason is because they know how big Steelers training camp is. And obviously with the pandemic, you not being able to have fans out there, that's the whole purpose of it. So they still want to be able to give the fans that type of feeling, that type of vibe. So it's gonna be interesting to see, man.
No, I'm looking forward to see how it plays out. I'm sure we'll see some stuff, and depending on how much access we do get and what we do see, I'm sure we'll have some like takes and just like opinions on what's going on. Because we don't have anything else. We just really don't.
Yeah. This is gonna be the first time the general public's going to get a chance to see the players, the new players, Ben coming back.
Like at this point, we've already been like, what, we'd be 2 preseason games in, 3 preseason games in, and we'd have all the coverage from training camp of like who's doing good, who's not doing good, and I mean, maybe we would have went up for a day or two. I don't know.
Absolutely.
But like we'd at least have something to go off from that. Even like, this is the first time in forever.
Yeah. So like I said, that's why I'm excited about it, because we're finally going to get a chance to evaluate and give you something football related that's like in the present in terms of on field, not roster moves, not organizational moves and things like that, or hypotheticals. This is like, oh no, this is legit. We got a chance to see this today. So that's why I'm excited about it, man. But I will say this, I know the practices do switch from time to time depending on the day. So I think if you check their website or even the Steelers Twitter and their PR staff's Twitter, they'll always put out what time of day the practice is, because obviously we know, for example, like a Friday Night Lights, or sometimes it's a morning practice, afternoon practice, just so you can follow through and stuff like that. So it's gonna be good though.
How much am I gonna check out in reality?
I don't know about you. I know I'm gonna check it out, because this, like I said, when we get down here, I do my radio show live, and that's a part of that whole thing, man. So I'm excited about it, bro.
You know me though. I mean, I talk a big game. Like I want to say, because I don't think I've said it yet. I do want to say, I'm gonna watch every one.
That's why I didn't even ask, because you told me you was gonna watch all this baseball. I guarantee you haven't watched more than 3 Pirates games. You told me. I said best case, no, you'll watch 10. I said that was best case. Yeah, I
told you they lost out on their opportunity.
So what, man?
They lost out. Man. They could have had a month to themselves.
It sounds good.
And they didn't, man.
Yeah, it sounds good. And then you told me that you was gonna watch all these NBA bubble games. Then it started being I only watch Zion and Bron. Then it was all right. I'm not watching the Pelicans because Zion's not playing anymore. So I don't even know who you watching right now, man.
Well, playoffs are starting now, so I'm definitely watching a lot of these games.
You tell me? No, you said you're gonna watch every NFL game this year, right?
I did. I stand by that. I do. Not every game in terms of from start to finish, the whole broadcast. Like you're gonna
watch every game though, like a portion of every game.
Well, because Game Pass, what they do is they break they break the broadcast down into like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, maybe even 40 minutes.
So
it's like you see the broadcast, but all you're seeing is the plays. Bang, 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 bang,
no
bang.
No commercials, none of the lagging in between plays.
So I think I could do that.
Well, you gotta think, what is it, 32 teams?
It's gonna be 16 games for I don't know how many weeks. How many weeks is that gonna be? Like 6 of the weeks?
Games.
Because one or buys
Thursdays, then you got buys. Every team's gonna have one bye.
I think it's gonna be 16 games for like 6 weeks, and then all the other weeks it's gonna be buys.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be less than 16, probably between like 10 or 13.
And then you you multiply 16 times 30, because that's pretty much every condensed broadcast is 30 minutes. So you do the math on that. You got a calculator right there, man. Here we go.
Well, that's going to be only for 6 of the weeks. But yeah,
let's just see for 6 of the weeks, how much time is it, man?
30 minutes?
Yeah, 16 times 30. This is what we got, man.
480.
Okay.
Divided by 60. 8 hours.
So 8 hours, that ain't too bad, man.
Well, I'm already going to watch the Steelers. I'm already going to watch.
But you're not watching the Steelers as a condensed broadcast. You're watching the whole Steelers game.
I know, but that's what I mean. So
that's like 2-3 hours easily, bro.
If I could take out games throughout the day. Hold on. You got Monday night.
Okay.
You got the Steelers game. Sunday night.
Okay.
And then the other games throughout the day. Mm-hmm. Maybe let's say the Steelers are at 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
Then you got the 4 o'clock game.
That's a lot of hours already right there.
But then, I could have multiple TVs up. I might not be missing much.
multiple TVs up.
And that 8 hours,
then?
8 hours might go down to 3 or 4 hours.
So you're gonna have the games on. You're not actually like watching them though.
I'll be tuned in.
How you tuned in with multiple games on though?
I'm gonna be tuned in, dude.
How?
I just will. I mean, it's possible.
All right.
It's possible.
I've been to sports bars where they got 7 games on at once, and you're like, I'm focused on this game. I might see a highlight over here. I might see something cool that happened over there, but this is the game I'm actually watching.
It's gonna be.
I can tell you everything that happened on these other games.
Here's what I'll say. It's gonna be a week-to-week thing because let's say I do have a game on and I have another game or two on other screens, and let's say I just don't feel like I got the essence of one of the other 2 games. Then I'll go back and watch. And there might be a week 2 where I'm over at my friend's house watching these games. I'm not going to be able to get it all. But if there's a weekend where I just literally lock myself in my room, then I think the dual TVs is definitely possible because you're going to be locked in and focused.
All right.
It's going to be a week-to-week thing. But yeah.
I hope it works for you, man.
Every game.
I really hope it works for you.
Every game.
Yeah, I don't.
You don't think it's happening?
I just know when I was watching film and I would put in hours like that per day, how I felt, and I was barely enjoying that after a while. You talking about doing this, boom, 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 like that's long.
Film though, it's different from broadcast.
No, it's not. You watch both. When you're studying film, you watch broadcast because you want to pick up on the audio, you want to pick up on the checks they're making, you want to pick up on the tempo. You can't get all that just by watching coaches' film. So you gotta watch all of it. It's a mix, man.
Man. Yeah. Well, you're doubling down there though.
No,
I'm not gonna watch the film.
I'm just saying, man. Each day you pick a different film to watch. It's difficult, bro. I'm telling you.
Wait, but you do broadcast and film. And dude, I've done it for us. Like I've watched every Steeler game again before we come on and do the podcast, and then I usually watch a game or 2 of the other team that we're about to play. So now it's just gonna be like tenfold here.
Hey, I applaud you. I support you in whatever you want to do, man. If you pull this off, man, I'm proud of you. I think you could do it. I hope you do it.
I'm regretting saying it, but you know what? I want to try. It's one of those things I want to try. I just want to try.
It's all good, man.
I really want to have my finger on the pulse of this season here. I think it's going to be needed. I think some good takes are going to be needed this upcoming season.
Okay. I just like how you throw it out there, man. Like, was it you say you should undersell and overproduce? You were in the business of overselling. You go, man, I'm watching every single game. Like, every game? I'm not even gonna sit here and lie to you. I'm watching every game. It's some games where I'm like, bro, I'm not watching. That's a toilet bowl matchup. If I want to see them, I pick certain games off of their schedule. Usually it's a 3 games that I'll pick from the team. Usually their most recent one. I'll pick a big matchup that they had, and then something from earlier in the season, and just kind of, all right, this is that, that's that. Or if I'm looking for a certain player that just came in, I'm checking him out in these games. Like, I'm never going to just sit here and be like, yeah, I'm watching all 16 of these Jaguar games. I am not about to lie to you. I'm not doing that.
I'm doing it, dude.
I hope you do, man.
If you want
I'm
updates,
not watching 16 Broncos games.
If you want updates, if you want updates on Fournette throughout the season or Minshew, I'm the guy to go to now.
Well, you know what?
I'm an expert on every team.
I'm gonna start pulling just like bum teams and just see. All right, what about this play? What about the third receiver?
Dude, ask me. Yeah. What's your take? What's your take on this team?
That's what we're gonna start doing, bro.
Dude, I'm gonna be an encyclopedia of knowledge for this NFL season.
It's gonna be exciting, man. I can't wait for that.
Listen, I'm gonna be straight up. I was in my prime, probably. High school, college range. I was in my prime for football knowledge easily. I was so into fantasy, Madden all the time, watching games. Like I knew a lot.
Right.
I stepped back a little bit, I think, but now I'm getting back into my prime. I'm trying to have a resurgence here.
I like it, man. I hope you get that resurgence, man. I found me a nice little smooth little groove of, all right, I'm not obsessing over it. Because that's what it becomes when you start watching that much tape that often. You obsess over a little bit.
Obsess how?
You'll see.
If you
really do it, you'll see, bro.
Upset, but I'm not really looking for anything.
You'll see.
I'm just gonna be getting the essence of these games and soaking it all in,
bro.
Is that what you did going into it?
Saying,
you were trying to get the essence, but something changed.
No.
We changed.
You'll see. That's what I'm saying. You will see, bro. Because there's a difference between watching a game and actually like watching it and knowing what was happening, the context of it, not just the flow. It's easy to just come here and be like, well, they had the momentum earlier, then they lost the momentum, then they got it back. Oh, it was a big pick later. No. I need you to tell me the story. Man, early on in the game, man, James Conner was pounding the ball, man. He had a lot of success going to his right. Every time, they tried to run to the left side of the line, it wasn't working on things like that. But then when we saw the defense start to make shifts and start doing more blitzing, that's when Ben went to more play action under center, which he never really does, but it started working out. And he started hitting Juju on the deep bomb. Juju was tick-tocking in the end zone. It was awesome, bro. It's different.
I'm not going to tell you that. I'm going to tell you this dude's been sucking and this dude's been doing good. That's what I'll tell you.
All right. Respect. But I like it, man. So yeah, it's exciting times though, man. Major exciting times. So like I said, check online because I don't want to give you wrong dates and times by the time. Who knows when you're listening to this?
We just told you 2 different times right here.
Yeah. So when in doubt, just check the social media of the Steelers, man. They will let you know the practice times. They'll let you know the streaming times, things like that. So yeah, man. But either way, enjoy it. And yeah, if you're hearing this today, if you're hearing it tomorrow, whenever you're hearing it, it's training camp. So practice is every day. That's the beauty of it. It's not like, oh man, Monday's work, film day, Tuesday off day, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Like, nah. This training camp every day out there all the time. Yeah. So enjoy that whole thing, man. So that's been fun, man. But now it's time for what we came to talk about, baby.
Yeah, top 10s.
Top 10s, man. So we've given you wide receivers. We gave you our top 10 running backs. We've given you top 10 corners, top 10 safeties. Now it's time to talk. We're going back to the offense side of the ball, right? That's what we said we're going to do today. And we got to talk these tight ends, man. And I feel like it was only right because there was a lot of hype surrounding tight ends this offseason, especially here in Pittsburgh. So I feel like it's only right that we go with the tight ends, maybe from a top 10 standpoint. So without further ado, my main man, Deke, is going to kick us off, man. Let's get it.
I thought I gave us the top ones last time.
It don't matter.
All right.
It don't matter, man. You just did a signing. You big time now, baby.
Nah, it ain't. Like
and you were humble. You even showed up, ladies and gentlemen. Deke even showed up on time today to record. I thought he was gonna come in here an hour late because he did a signing. He was like, "Nah, bro, I'm here on time, baby."
Dude, I had you at the signing too.
Yeah, man.
You were big time in the signing. I was there before. I couldn't believe it. I was late though, actually.
It was planned that way.
What do you mean? Well, you told me the wrong time. Wow.
You showed up 10 minutes late to the time I gave you. I knew you were going to do that, bro. I knew it.
Wow.
That was the whole purpose, bro. I said 11:30. You showed up at 11:40. Called me at 11:42. Yeah, I knew it, bro. Wow. I said, he is not going to be on time, bro. But you already told me.
Wow.
What did you tell me? You said, bro, give me a time.
I've told you to do that.
Yes. And that's why.
I've told you to do that. I deserve it. Wow. 11:30 to 2 is a weird time. That is a weird time. Noon to 2 makes a lot more sense.
I wasn't going to say anything because I wanted you to feel good about like being here on time and beating me and stuff, bro.
Yeah.
But I was just like, I looked at the time when you called me. I was like, yo, I knew it. I knew he was going to be late, bro.
Wow.
But you looked good. That's all that matters.
Yeah. Yeah. Was I that late? I don't know.
You were definitely 10 minutes late, bro.
I thought it was like 5.
No, for without a doubt, bro. Because when I left my house was when you were calling me. And I was like, oh, yeah, it's 11:40. I'm about to be here.
Yeah, I know. But like, I think I spent probably around 5 minutes lingering around. I think it was more like 36, 37.
Either way, it's still late.
It's still late. Yeah.
It's all that matters. Yeah,
like it's one of those things you think, for a signing, is he going to be on time?
Yeah, I was like, especially when it comes to signings or any type of public event, I don't like to play with that because typically, man, except when there's money involved or even just people's time, like you don't want them to be waiting on you, especially when you got fans there, people that, I mean, throughout my career, man, I've been to numerous signings where I've seen guys show up an hour, 2 hours late. Some guys, no exaggeration, 4 hours late. And you're like, bro, are you serious right now? Like, this is out of control. And it's one thing when it's just them that's late, doesn't bother anyone. I've been to events where we can't go out there until all of us are there together. And you're sitting here waiting on a dude. And you're like, bro, I'm about to smack him. Like, I don't even care anymore. Like, this is nuts, bro. If they hadn't paid me my money already, like, I would have bounced because I'm tired of waiting on this dude. That happens a lot, bro. So that's why when it comes to signs, I'm like, I will never, I knock on wood, but throughout my career,
you don't.
I don't think I've ever been late to anything. Like, if anything, I might have showed up right on time. 90% of the time, though, I'm going to be 10, 15 minutes.
And that was probably like 5 or 10 circumstances happened to get you just to be on time.
Yeah, because other than that, like I leave early because that's one of my pet peeves, bro. Like I said, man, I remember my first signing I was at. I'm waiting on a dude, and he wasn't even a big time guy. That's the thing. Like, I've had to wait on big time guys, and I'm like, okay, I'll chalk it up to the big time guy. That's probably why I got a little bit more on my end. That's cool. But it's times where you're like, bro, you ain't even like that. Like, come on, son. Like, nah. For him, okay, I give him a pass. He all pro. You? Bro, you barely on the roster. You better get in here on time, man. You better be early. So that's always my thing, man. So that's why when it comes to advanced science, I mean, you even saw when we did the tailgates. Man, I'm out that joint early.
Yeah.
Early. Like, yeah, bump that. I'd rather show up an hour early than be 5 minutes late, bro. That's just my mentality, man.
Yeah, and I've rolled in 15, 30 minutes late for those. Although I don't know if that was planned either. You told me those times. That really
was early
know.
on. That was early on before I quit the gist. Then I started to realize, like, okay, if I tell Deke this time,
but it's never big time late though. It's like 30 max. 30
and
max.
that's the thing. You're never intentionally late too. That's the thing,
dude. I'm telling you, it's always. I think the thing with me is like I'm bad with time. I'm just bad with time. I don't want to use it as an excuse because it's something you can get better at. But like I'm always. Like if I'm out to dinner with you and I got something going on afterwards, I'm gonna be late for that. It's not about anything specific. It's just like when I'm doing something, I get locked into that and completely forget about anything else. Yeah. So when it's like, oh wait, I got to get ready for this. It's like, all right, I can do this in this amount of time. But it's always something I can't find a shoe. No.
Dead serious, bro. I know 1,000%. Like I mean, the stories have come out now, but with AB, for example, we used to laugh because with AB consistently, that was it. Like. You could tell, like, at first you were like, yo, are you really trying to be late to, like, everything? And you're like, oh, no, I've seen this dude, like, oh, we're about to go ahead from the locker room to the airport. And we're all getting dressed. And you're like, all right, it's 20 minutes. All right, well, hold on. It's 30 minutes left. All right, it's 20 minutes. Dang, dude, I'm walking out right now. And I feel like I'm cutting it close. And you hopping in to go get a shower right now. I'm like, whoa, what? Just like his whole concept, like, everybody else is getting dressed. He's kind of just chilling there. But then I even see it with, like, my middle girl. She's always like, Dad, why it take so long? And I'm like, well, we're doing it right now. We're either getting dressed, about to go, and you're just kind of just sitting around just like, all right, I see y'all getting dressed. That looks nice. You're like, are you going to get dressed? Yeah, I'm about to in a second. Yeah. And you just wait, and then we're all fully dressed, ready to go. And you're like, oh, hold on, let me go throw my stuff on real quick. I've seen it. And that was AB. AB was like that all the time.
AB's putting in that work. That's right.
Well, that's the thing. Once you realize, like, that's who the person is, you cool. You can adapt to it. But that's the thing. As long as you know going in, that's what I've told you before. I'm like, as long as I know, okay, cool. I know how to work around you. Like you saw this weekend. It's like, all right, I got this. I figured out how to work around it. My dad, he's another one. My dad, and people would think former Marine, he's gonna be on time for everything. My dad was almost late to my wedding, and he was officiating it. And I told him the wrong time by an hour. I told him, I said, Dad, the wedding starts at noon. We had a 1 o'clock start. It starts at noon. He walked in at 12:55, like, y'all ready to go? Like, what? We told you at 12 o'clock. Everybody's ready to go. Dad, what are you doing? That's my pops. So trust me, I know, baby. I know. Yeah. He had his cowboy hat on like he was just strutting. I'm like, bro, how are you technically 55 minutes late from the time that we told you? No one knew the start time except us. I told you this time in particular, and you just strolled in like nothing was wrong. That's him though. Yeah. So trust me, man. It's certain people, like I said, you get a 30-minute every once in a while. I might tell you even crazier times to keep you on your toes, but every once in a while I tell you the right time too, just to see. And I'm like, yeah, it's just like I thought. All right, go back to normal.
Yeah, I want to get better, but it's one of those things like you fool me once, shame on you. Whatever, fool me twice, shame on.
What about
I don't know what it is.
Times, man?
Yeah, and then it gets to the point, like you said, it's like, all right, he's consistent in this.
Yes,
like he's
so
not going to
got an idea of
And I want to get. It's one of those things. It's not a purposeful thing. It's one. I want to get better at it. I know it's a thing that's. It's hindered me in the past. It's just, but yeah, it is what it is right now. And
hey, like I said, man, if it was just you, the only person I've seen like that, that's one thing. But like I told you, man, I done had teammates, multiple, not just AB, multiple guys like that. I tell you, my father's like that, my daughter's like that. Like I've seen it on various levels of it, man. So it is what it is. We just figure out how to deal with them. Like I ain't have to hit you with the whole hour ahead of time though, so that's good. Like my dad,
I'm not there. It's like 30 minutes. Like 15's usually my wheelhouse between 7, 8, and 15 if I'm gonna be late. And then I hit you with the outliers, the on time or the 30 sometimes.
My dad is faithfully. I have to go my hour ahead of time, faithfully, and that's gonna be cutting it close. I would prefer to go pick him up a lot of times. Like Pop, if you want, we could ride together. He's like, nah, I got it. I'm going to drive. No, Dad. Let me come and get you, please. Because if I'm coming to pick him up, he'll be ready.
Yeah.
But if it's on him to just leave, oh, no. It ain't happening, bro. That's similar to you too, man. If I say we ride together, every time we've ridden somewhere together, man, you've been on time, man.
No, not the one time for the airport. Not the one. I was like 15 for the airport. The one time.
But you heard that 15 and you felt bad about it. And I said it was like super early in the morning.
It was.
I wasn't tripping on that. Not other than that, bro. You were on time. It's time to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think for our big interview, like whenever we're meeting at an interview or something, I'm pretty decent with that. I think.
But dude, it's something about when it's just, oh yeah, I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna be there at this time. It just doesn't happen. It doesn't happen.
Wow, that was funny though. I'm glad you told me that because I deserve to get made fun of.
I'm actually glad that it happened on air too, so everybody could kind of just get it all together like live like that. But yeah, I wasn't gonna tell you. I wanted you to feel good. I was like, yo, I'm proud of you, man. Like, bro, we here. And you called me. I could tell when you called me. You was like, yo, bro, you here yet? Where you at? I'm like, oh, he think he got me. Yo, where you at, bro? Oh, you calling me? Because I wasn't going to call you. I was like, nah, I'm going to wait to see when he calls because that's going to let me know how long he's been there, when did he get there, and all that stuff. And I was like, oh, yeah.
That's hilarious, dude. I'm glad you do that, man, because, I mean...
But it looks good on you, though, because they said, oh, man, look, Deke, he's booked. He's on time.
I stepped in for a second, then I went back out.
No, but that's what I'm saying, though, in terms of when we were supposed to be there, when we both pulled up and we both got in there, it was on time.
I was on time with you.
Right. Now, imagine if I would have said 12.
You're looking out for me.
I get there, and they're like, yo, where's Deke? And I'm like, he's on the way.
He's big time.
That's totally different. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of times, man, depending on if you're big time, different person, man, they don't want to work with you. From my experience, that's what I've seen. So I'm always like, err on the side
I'm getting there
early, so that way you don't have to worry about it, man.
Yeah. I appreciate that, man.
You know I got you, man. I ain't gonna never steer you wrong, baby.
I'm being like, whenever I've told you that in the past, like I'm serious about that because I don't know how many countless times throughout my life, you know. Although you know you have school and certain things, it's always be there at this time. Right. But like, and I'm just trying to think in terms of have I had a boss or someone tell me like, yo, be here. I'm not saying like I don't consider us like a boss. Like that's ridiculous. Yeah. But at the same time, like being able to like, all right, I know like I'm gonna tailor things to him because I know how he operates. Like I actually appreciate that because I was serious. Like I told you, I was like, I was like telling you before, like, yo, just literally tell me like 15, 30 minutes before. Just
because this is my thing. I look at it like this, man. You can't assume everyone's gonna operate the same way. You can't assume that if I say 6, everybody's showing up at 5:55. That's not realistic. You got to understand certain people operate certain ways. But we're fortunate where we're in a relationship that we've been working together long enough that it's like, oh yeah, okay, he knows me, I know him. He know I'm going to show up early. I know he's going to show up whatever time I say, typically 15, 30 minutes like in that window. All right, just accommodate. How can we fix this? How can we make it work? And then from there, you're good. And if you show up early, then it's a good surprise on everybody. It's house money. Yeah. But if you show up late, like we anticipate, it's like, oh, we still good. It doesn't kill anything, which is a lot better than, all right, we're going to do this the hard way and make sure it has to be like this. That's not fun for nobody. And it just kills the whole environment, kills the whole vibe. So that's why we operate the way we operate. And we're flexible. It makes it work like that, man.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
It's a fun place to work, man. It's a fun place.
This is good, man. Good vibes all around. We want to get in these tight ends.
So you ready now, man?
Yeah, what happened there? I don't even...
No, because when we talked about you going first, you was like, man, I was even on time, or you was like something like...
I think you might have said it.
No, you said it because you said that you went first last time, plus you were early or beat me to the signing this week, and I was like, well, actually... And then we went down that whole thing. But it was a life lesson for everybody out there, man. So now we're ready, Deke.
10-1?
Yeah, man, let's get it.
Wow, this list is good. This might be my best list.
Oh, whoa.
I really believe so.
Oh, man, we about to find out right now.
Number 10, Jared Cook.
Okay, I'm a little surprised. All right.
Surprised? You didn't
I didn't know where you was going, but you know what? Let me not speak too soon because who knows what's on the rest of your list. Let's check. Let's go.
This is my best list, I'm telling you right now. Jared Cook at 10. Hunter Henry at 9. Dallas Goedert at 8.
Okay, I like it.
7, Evan Ingram. 6, Mark Andrews. 5, Darren Waller. 4, Zach Ertz.
Okay.
3, Gronk.
Okay.
2, Kelsey. 1, Kittle.
I'm not gonna lie, that probably was your best list. I was nervous as heck. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro.
What do you mean?
I'm not gonna lie. You know what I mean.
Dude, honestly,
you know what I mean.
my running back list was amazing too. Actually, I like all my lists.
I do too.
I really do.
Surprisingly, I've liked them all.
The one thing that people have ripped on me the most for, and it's our TikTok crowd, man. They call me biased left and right, but I mean they're ripping on me for Minka at 1, which I don't even see how it's so ridiculous. Yeah. I was on ESPN, and I think it's your boy Fowler. He was doing those top 10 rankings, and what he does, he pulls the players, coaches, I think executives, and they do their top 10, and they had Minka at like 2 or 3. And then it shows you like
highest position,
high
and
position. Low. Yeah. And they had like there was votes for him at 1. So I don't even see how it's that ridiculous.
I think, man, it's just to the point now that anytime you say something still related, people are just gonna put you in that bag.
It's gonna boomerang back to me in a week here too. It's just I gotta play into it. I really gotta go all in.
As soon as we say quarterbacks, it's like, oh, here we go. But I'm not gonna lie, you made me nervous, man, because I know how you feel about Ebron.
I'm really high on Ebron.
And I swear I thought you was fit to have them on this.
There's no way Vance was making this.
I'm just saying I thought you was gonna do it. I was like, oh, here we go.
I was trying for
I know it.
I was trying for Ebron. There's actually a lot though in that 11 to 15 range that arguments that you could be putting at like 9 or 10.
Yes.
But I just think I got the best list here.
No, man, because you named 2 guys, for example, Hunter Henry and
Goddard.
Yes, those 2, for example, like they're in that same range. They're in that same range, man. So I could definitely respect that, man.
What's your list?
All right, so at mine, man, at 10, I went with Cal Rudolph, man, the wily veteran, super consistent. You see the productivity over a long period of time, does not change, man.
You like that blocking?
I like the total package.
Yeah,
total package, man, and the longevity.
He could use a better QB, but
I mean, it's 4,000-yard passer. What we talking about here? Consecutive years, 3-4 years now. I mean, the track record speaks for itself, but it's all good.
I know.
Wait, trust me, we're gonna get a chance to talk QBs in a little while. Oh, baby,
he's not in the top 10,
but I know somebody that you can put in your top 10. Yeah, you might even have this dude top 5, and we already talked about it could be debatable, but that's neither here nor there. So the rest of my list, at number 9, I got Evan Ingram.
All right.
At 8, I went with Jared Cook. At 7, I went Austin Hooper. Whoa. He was not on your list. I was surprised by that because he is a dog.
I know. There's a few factors, but you finish your list.
Yeah, so at 7, I went Austin Hooper. At 6, I went Darren Waller. At 5, I got Gronk. At 4, I went Mark Andrews. At 3, Zach Ertz. 2, Travis Kelce. And then at 1, I went George Kittle. Both of them boys got that new money. But shout out to George, man. He's total package. Like I said, I need both.
Wait, did I say Kelce and then Kittle?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just making sure because
did it the right way.
I honestly think I can't even remember naming my top 3 after Gronk. Like I said Gronk, and I don't even know what I said. But yeah. Okay, I definitely have Kittle at 1.
Yeah, for me, man, the thing that sold me with Kittle was just he's a total package, man. Can block, can run the routes. Does it all. I love the fact that he was a later round draft pick coming in the 5th round, so he doesn't have the glamour and all the other things that you would get in the 1st and 2nd round pick. Along with the fact that he's doing it with Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo's a good quarterback, but he's not a top 10 or even a top 5 quarterback. So when I think about that, I'm like, that just adds to it. And he's realistically their number 1 receiver. When we talk about Travis Kelce, you can debate if Kelsey's the number 1 or if it's Tyreek Hill is the number 1. But with George Kittle and San Fran, there is no debating that he's the number 1 receiver, and that's why the offense is tailored for him and things like that. But I think, man, he's just clear cut the best tight end right now, and the money that he just got.
Both
definitely back to the Well, Kelce, the reason his is a little bit lower, he's a little bit older.
A little older, yeah.
Yeah, but he got paid like that for a reason, man.
Yeah, the thing with Kittle and Kelsey's like claim to fame is his route running and just his receiving and all that. He's
swaggy. Boy, he's swaggy.
You could definitely make the argument like he's the better receiving tight end. But if you want to say that, Kittle is definitely not far off though. If not almost just equal or on par, because you look at Kittle's 2018. This was with who at quarterback? I mean, this is because Garoppolo got hurt in 18. 88 receptions, 1,377 yards, 5 touchdowns.
Wasn't that year when he set the record, right? Was it 18 he set the record?
For what? Receiving yards for a tight end?
Yeah.
I mean, that would have to be it. Yeah,
it had to be the 18 season, yeah.
And with Kelce, he's had the 4 straight 1,000-yard years. I got him I think this was last year. This was 97 receptions, 1,229 yards, and 5 touchdowns. So, like I said, Kittle in 18 with that amount of yards and production at receiver, it's on par with Kelce. And then even last year, 1,053 yards, 5 touchdowns. same amount. It was 75.2 yards per game, the same amount of yards per game as Kelce last year. Kittle just missed 2 games. So that's crazy. But then you add Kittle's blocking into play versus Kelce, and like you look at anyone, like at the NFL Top 100, all those players were talking about how great of a blocker Kittle is, where he's just like he like loves blocking. He's able to actually like manhandle like defensive ends, and like so that's why I got Kittle as one. I was considering. I was looking at Kelce's playoff run because I know he had a really good playoff run. I was like, could this count for something where it could nudge Kittle up or Kelce up above Kittle? But when you look at what the San Fran 49ers did last year, they didn't really need Kittle to be receiving like that. Right. That's why his numbers were a little down in the playoff run. Whereas Kelce, he had 4 touchdowns in those 3 games. Yeah. But it wasn't really needed for Kittle like it was for Kelce because the Chiefs had to come back and everything. Right. So you got to give, I think you just got to give the nod to Kittle there.
Yeah, I think the thing is this, though. The nod is solely because of the blocking. I know you say they're close from a receiving standpoint. I don't think they're that close. I think the difference...
Straight numbers, though.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I think with the numbers, though, you have to realize in 18, there was no other receivers on San Fran. Marquise Goodwin was hurt as well. There was no Emmanuel Sanders at the time. There was no Deebo Samuel at the time. So they were force-feeding Kittle, which is why his numbers represented what they did. And trust me, he's still an elite player, elite athlete. But with Kelce has never had the offense like that, where it was just, oh, he's the only person, and they're going to force-feed him the ball this much during the game. He just didn't have those type of situations. Once Mahomes took over, you already had Tyreek Hill, so it was still, you're going to be sharing the ball and things like that. And then even before that, when they had Kareem Hunt, they were still going to be doing different things with it. But from just a flat out route running receiver standpoint, Kelce is definitely by himself in there, man. Like Kittle is dope, but Kelce is a nightmare, bro. But the thing that makes Kittle,
I mean, you've talked about him before. Like you knew, bro, whenever you guys were going up against him, he's crazy.
Yeah, as soon as you match him on, you're like, yo, ball's going here. Like, just make the tackle. Like, it's bad. Whereas with Kittle, the thing that stands out with Kittle, like I said, is blocking. Like, if Kelce is an A+ when it comes to route running and stuff like that, Kittle is a B+ at worst, right? B+. But his blocking is A+. Like, that's it. Like, you think of how when Gronk was blocking, like Kittle was like that. And Kittle, like I said, he just loves it. Like you called it, man. He enjoys blocking, which is crazy because most of the time you're either elite at route running or elite at blocking. You're never elite at both. Yeah. And that's what he is. That's what makes him that whole total package. And like I said, the offense is set up perfect, man. That West Coast offense that they run, the crossing routes and all that other stuff, the play action, that's perfect for him. It's a tight end's dream out there, man. So, yeah, I don't have an issue with him at 1 at all, man.
No, yeah, so we agree on that. So you have 3 at Ertz.
Yeah, I went Ertz and then Mark Andrews at 4.
I got to say something about Gronk, man.
Oh, let me hear it, man.
Wait, so you having him in the top 5, is that more of a nod to him as opposed to a slight? Okay.
No, definitely not. Yeah, like I said, it's the same AB conversation. AB would have been on the list if AB was signed to a team right now. He's not. You see other teams still signing receivers, so that's why I'm just like, I don't even know if he's getting back right now, so I can't put him on the list on top of him not even playing the year before. Whereas with Gronk, he didn't play last year, but he's on a team right now. We know he's going to be out there. So that's why it's like, oh, yeah, you could take a year off and still be a top 5 guy because I know once you get back out there, all I need is one game to see, oh, all right, he's back, and he's right back at the top of this list. So that's why, like I said, it's a nod to him that he could take a whole year off because let's be real, if Kelce or Kittle take a year off, I don't know how I feel just right out the gate, or even Mark Andrews, who I got in the top 5.
That's just how dominant Gronk is, man.
Exactly. Like Gronk is that type of player. So yeah, I didn't have an issue. Even when I think you had him at 3, right?
I got him at 3.
Yeah, I didn't have an issue with any of that. It was just for me, he's gonna be up there. But when I think of Kelce, Kittle, and Ertz off of the years they've been having, yeah, I'm like, man, even when Gronk was playing, they were still like in that same little bubble. Not saying that they were on the same level as Gronk, but they were in the conversation with him. So you take a year off.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, those guys have to be ahead of you. That's how I looked at it.
The thing with Ertz, I'm just kind of worried about Goddard, to be honest with you, because I was going to mention this about my list. It's a combination of all these things of like, all right, where they are right now, last season, and kind of what I'm thinking is going to happen going forward. And that's actually why I have Henry. Do you have Henry on your list?
I didn't, but that's why when you said Henry and Goddard, because those are guys I look as like, they would be in my next wave of guys coming in there.
The reason I don't have have Henry lower is just because of Tyrod Taylor. Like whenever you look at his years in Buffalo when he was a starter, he never threw for more than 3,000 yards.
Correct.
Or no, he was at that 3,000 yards. He never eclipsed that though.
Correct.
Phillip Rivers, even on his down year last year, threw for 4,600 yards. Yes. Now, whether it was a good 4,600 or Phillip Rivers was at Phillip Rivers caliber, it doesn't matter. I'm talking about what production Hunter Henry is going to be getting this season. Right. And dude, that's 1,600 yards, and they still have other weapons too, like Mike Williams, Keenan Allen. So I don't know what he's going to be doing this year. That's going to be interesting. I just think as a whole, though, I think he's a really good tight end. He can't stay healthy, though. And then Tyrod Taylor, that's just why I have him lower on my list.
Now, I will say this, though. I'm a little excited about Tyrod because I think this is probably going to be the best offense that he's played. And when he was in Buffalo, he had, I think, was a young
He didn't
Sammy
have any
Watkins.
receivers. Yeah,
like they were heavy
Shady
running
McCoy,
game. But that was the different element of it. And obviously, when he played in Cleveland, he only had a couple of games out there too, and we saw just how crazy
I think he got hurt, and then they brought
the
Baker
Jets game. Baker comes
Thursday
in,
night.
and then Baker took over from there. So it was a lot of variables that went into that. But this is gonna probably be his most talented offense that he's been on probably since when he was at Tech. Honestly, man. So it's gonna be interesting to just see that dynamic. I think that's gonna help him out a lot more when you have guys that you can just throw the ball to or put it in the vicinity and they can make plays. That makes your quarterbacks feel really good. That makes quarterbacks look a lot better. We saw even with Kirk Cousins, right? We don't think that Kirk Cousins is a world beater, but when you have him out there with some talented players, he's going to be a 4,000-yard passer. I think that's something that I'm not saying that Tyrod's going to pass 4,000 yards, but I think he can get into the mid to higher 3,000s, 3,500, 3,600, because right now he's been like right at that 3,000 mark.
Yeah, it was like 3 seasons in a row.
Yeah, it was like literally 3,090 yards, 3,100 yards, 3,000 even. And then I think the down year was like 27 or 2,800. Like that's just kind of where he's been at. So I think for me, man, just knowing the roster, knowing what Hunter Henry can do, if he stays healthy, I think that Tyrod's numbers will be up. But I think Hunter is going to do well as well because a lot of times, like I said, when you're a quarter, and especially a guy like Tyrod who's crazy efficient, you look at his numbers, he does not throw a lot of picks. He does not have a lot of incompletions. He's very efficient. He's going to take the safe throw. He's going to take the high percentage throw every time. A lot of times, I mean, because obviously when he played in Buffalo, just following them and stuff like that, people get irritated by it because they're like, man, we'd rather you take more chances.
Oh, yeah.
But he's super calculated in that. And that's why you can win with him because he's not going to get you. He's not going to throw you out of the game. Right. But he's going to be capped because he's never going to just say, you know what, I'm gunslinging it like how we see with Baker or even with Ben, for example, like where you see guys just like, all right, I can make this throw, but it's probably going to make this throw 1 out of 4 times. Tyrod's not going to throw that, though. He's like, man, I'd rather go over here where my percentages are a lot higher.
Yeah, there's 2 things you get with that is someone completely dominating a game. Yes. We've seen it with Ben, but then also the ability to come back at a really rapid pace and get you back into a game. That always has frustrated me about quarterbacks like that, where, man, it's always the safe throw. No, we got to get back in this game. We're down like 2 scores or something. That's the one thing that I think sets those, top. You could even say top 10. I mean, a lot of those guys in the top 10 can like kind of dominate a game and also bring you back. I don't want to completely make it seem it's just the top 5, 6 guys. But yeah, I did want to say a couple things about Gronk just because you gave him that top 5 spot as almost as a salute, like Gronk, you belong here. And this is just for any doubters to Gronk being in the top 5 and top 3 for me. I know I said it whenever he first signed too. You could have said, "Oh man, is that a knee-jerk reaction?" Deke saying, "Oh man, Gronk's in the top 3," but you look at his last year: 682 yards, 3 touchdowns. That was only 13 games, and that was supposedly his worst year.
Well, I mean, not only was his worst year, but we saw he was like super beat up too the whole year, man.
Well, there's that, and my point is too. I like to do the average over 16 games, whatever. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna start just saying yards per game because that's gonna be easier to say whenever I do the whole 16 games thing. I think it gets too convoluted, but anyway, that would have been 840 yards, and that's in his worst year, banged up, all this other type of stuff. Yeah. Let's not forget too, in his supposed worst year, had an awesome playoff run where Brady was still trusting him down the stretch, making big plays, and you could even look. I looked up highlights from that year too. Dude, he
had the 2 big catches in the AFC Championship game, and
Kansas
he had
City.
the one in the Super Bowl versus the Rams as well.
I know.
Yeah, he was.
Like big catches.
The spark, that was the game-changing plays in both of those games was his catches.
Big catches. He had 5, what's this? I can't read this, dude. I don't have my glasses. 6 or 5 receptions, 79 yards in the Kansas City game. 6 receptions, 87 yards in the Super Bowl. Like I said, all being unhealthy and supposed on a down year. Took a year off. Now he's healthy. He's always been a force in terms of blocking and just someone that, can't be reckoned with here.
Yeah.
So that's why I think Gronk is still top 3. You have the connection with Brady down in Tampa. Both are in unfamiliar territory, So what do you do when you're in a little bit unfamiliar territory, a little bit uncomfortable? You go with that comfort. You try to seek out your main target there and know what's going to work. So that's why I got Gronk in top 5. Anyone that's doubting him, just don't doubt the Gronk and Brady connection. I've seen it too many times. Yeah. I've seen it.
He's top 5, man. Like, his talent speaks for itself. His productivity speaks for itself. His longevity speaks for itself. I mean, it's a reason why this dude's going to be a Hall of Famer when he retires, man. It's because he's part of that 2010 draft class. But that's neither here nor there. Dude's a beast, man. Period. Now, with Dallas Goedert.
Dude.
So you're projecting with him. So for me, I still think Zach Ertz is going to be the alpha
that's the
there,
problem.
Bro.
That's the problem.
If they would have moved Zach Ertz, I'm all for Dallas Goedert because he definitely has a talent. I mean, any of those 1AA guys too, man. I'm like, I want to see them be successful.
This dude's a beast, man.
Yeah, he definitely is, man. Definitely is. But with Zach Ertz on the team, I'm like, they ain't switching that up. That's kind of like when I forgot who we brought here when Heath was still here. We knew Heath was still going to be the focal point.
Spaeth.
No,
I mean we drafted Spaeth.
See, that was before I wasn't here with Spaeth.
Are you talking about Ladarius Green?
It might have been with Ladarius, yeah.
I think James was the tight end at the time, though. I think Heath was retired. Like, did you play with Heath?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, so it might have been. I'm trying to think, who was it? Yeah, because me and Heath played definitely here together.
He retired the year after. It was him and Polamalu retired the year after. We brought in someone with Heath.
Jeez. I don't even remember right now.
I can't either.
I don't even remember. I don't know. But all I know is this, man. Regardless of what was going on, he was going to be the guy. Yeah. Like, that's what we're getting to.
No, easily. Man. Yeah. Whether or not Goddard has better talent or has more upside down the road. That's
going to be the guy for them. Bro.
That's what's going to hurt his upside right now. I think just as a player, like you said, if there was a team that said, hey, I'm going to trade for Goddard and make him my number 1 tight end.
Oh, yeah.
Then
without it, yeah.
That's the only reason I have him in my top 10. So he had 607 yards and 5 touchdowns last year. Is he going to get more than that? I don't know. It's probably going to be around that range, maybe 500-600 yards. So those aren't necessarily, I feel great about putting him in the top 10 numbers, but I just think he's that good of a tight end. I was looking up, there's even Eagles fans that are like, yo, we should have got rid of Ertz this offseason.
Oh, yeah. Well, because this was the opportunity where Ertz still has high value, so you could get something good in return for him, but people are confident that Dallas Goedert could take over. But then I also, because I got a couple of diehard Eagles fans, like diehard.
My boys, friends?
Yeah, like diehard. And that's their thing. They're like, yeah, we think Goddard can be there, but right now, for a fact, Zach Ertz is a top 3 tight end. So you're talking about potentially doing the new.
It's not hurting you. It's not hurting you.
It is, though, because you're pulling the Patriots model of, all right, even though this dude is still in his prime for another 2 to 3 years, let's get rid of him now so this other guy can get an opportunity to grow. Now, if Dallas Goedert can't develop into Zach Ertz and you move on Zach Ertz, that does hurt you because that first person wins.
What I mean is, whatever move you make now could hurt you in the next year or two. Mm-hmm. But in terms of right now, having Ertz and Goddard on the field at the same time or having them both as your tight end, I don't think that's hurting you.
Yeah, that doesn't hurt. No.
It could hurt you if you keep them. And like you said, Ertz maybe loses value. It could hurt you down the road. But in terms of this season coming up as a team, although some of the Eagles fans I was reading online in some of these comment sections and whatever, they were saying we should get rid of Ertz so we could open up the offense more. Miles Sanders being the main guy, Deshaun Jackson coming back, and kind of open things up where I don't want to be running these 2 tight end sets out there.
Like I said, it sounds good in theory.
Oh, it definitely does. Why?
Right.
Because
it happens and then you're like, oh, it's not going like how we thought.
You
try to keep these guys.
Exactly. You have Ertz at 3. I have him at 4. Nah. Dude, over 800 yards in the past 5 seasons. 2018, 116 receptions, 1,163 yards, 8 touchdowns. Yeah. Dude, that's absurd. He's actually had his best 2 seasons with Goddard there.
Yeah, absolutely. And we talked about how this past season he was dealing with the rib injury. I know the latter portion of the season. He's dealt with some time where Wentz has been in and out of the lineup as well. Goddard can ball. I mean, not Goddard, Ertz can ball, which is the whole reason why you're like, yeah, Goddard will probably, you're hoping that Goddard can take over and become an all-world tight end like Ertz, but as it stands today, Goddard is not that. He's more of the potential. We're projecting what he could be, but we talked about this in the NFL, man. We've seen numerous times where you project it, you hope for it to happen, and then the reality of it is like, oh, okay, he's not that. We've seen it numerous times, man.
But based off what he has done on the field, and obviously he hasn't been the main guy,
which changes a lot.
It does change things, but what he has done on the field, PFF is really high on him. I'll tell you that right now.
It doesn't surprise me, man. But we talked about
I think they said he was damn it, it was like number 1 in something. It was something, but
which is why a lot of times I look at PFF like that, because I'm like, you're not gonna tell me Dallas Goedert is better than a Travis Kelce or George Kittle. I don't care what metric you're using. I don't care where you're trying to. Oh, it's because of this. When it's 2 minutes left in every quarter, he leads the league in receiving yards, over 10 catches. You know what I mean? Like that's why he's the best. Like, I'm not hearing none of that, bro. Cut the tape on. You tell me who the better player is. It's that simple, man.
Agreed. I do have him at 8 though. I do have him at 8 though. I'm feeling good because like there is the PFF rankings. There's the hype on him and all that type of stuff. At the same time, because I was watching some stuff on him today. And just even reading stuff on him, like I do really think this dude's like the real deal.
Yeah, we're gonna see, man. That's the thing. He'll get his opportunity if he keeps up.
But your point as to why he's not on the list, I do think it's going to be capped this year. Yeah. I do think he's probably only going to get 500-600 yards again.
Well, I say this: if he is good enough to be a top 3, top 4 guy, because
maybe he's on my list too early. But you know, I want to be an innovator.
Well, my thing, if you're good enough to beat out Zach Ertz, it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter if he's on your team or not. Somebody got to be Batman, right? Right now, you're Robin. It's easy to put up numbers as Robin. We talked about this. We've seen numerous examples at numerous positions. It's easy to be Robin. When it's time to be Batman, now you see the real thing. Now you see some of these dudes start to fold. The productivity starts to drop. Different things start to come up. That's all I'm saying, man. So we could project all we want to project from a Robin standpoint. When he becomes Batman, that's when he'll be on my list, man.
Understood. Yeah. Understood. Is there anything I have Cook on?
I got Cook as well, man. I had him at 8. You had him at what?
I have him 10.
10, yeah. I had it, yeah.
I think he could have another big year. I mean, it wasn't even like he had a really, really big year last year, but he really went off when Breeze came back. Absolutely. 7 touchdowns in the last 7 games. Mm-hmm. They don't have anyone else there. Exactly. I mean, he went off with the Raiders the year prior. Mm-hmm. So, dude,
ball, bro.
I mean, he's up there in age, which is maybe one of the reasons initially I had him in my, in the mix. Yeah. But then I was just, I was really trying to break things down. I'm like, Cook should probably be in this top 10 here. There's no reason not to.
My thing is this, man. I'm not worried about age. If you're playing this year and I think you're going to ball this year, that's the thing. I'm not doing
especially in the Saints offense.
Yeah, but I'm not doing a list projecting for next year. That'd be a totally different list. I'm not doing an all under 25 list either. This is for the 2020 season. Do I think he's going to be a top 10 tight end? Absolutely.
Right. Based off what he's done recently, there's no signs of him falling off a cliff or anything. Yeah. He's going to be the guy in New Orleans Saints. That type of offense. They're bringing in Sanders. Breeze is back. I mean, I don't see why he's not going to be putting up at least 700-800 yards, maybe double-digit touchdowns.
Absolutely, bro.
Where do you have Ingram?
I had him at 9. Yeah. Where'd you have him at?
I have him a little higher, dude. He's
a freaky athlete,
bro. He looks like a receiver out there.
Absolutely, I love him. It's the blocking.
Well, here's the thing. That is one of the knocks on him. Yeah. He said he improved his blocking, so I just took him at his word. So I bumped him up a little bit.
Yeah, I've heard that numerous times. Yeah, man, I improved it, man. I worked on it all season. I'm sure you did. I'm sure.
No, he's basically a receiver out there. The thing with him versus even like with Henry's, those two dudes can't stay on the field.
Yeah,
they're unhealthy. They're always getting hurt. So. That's kind of the knock with him, I guess.
I mean, when he's healthy, though, he can ball.
I know. I'm feeling a little bit more of a projection with him where I think he's going to hit at least 1,000 yards this year.
I think I agree with that as well. I know for me, my biggest thing was I anticipate Daniel Jones.
We're both high on Danny Dimes.
Yeah, I mean,
all these dudes are ripping on him out here.
Because they don't watch enough tape of him. I rewatched this stuff, man. Like I said, I was watching him. I think it was either Baltimore or Jackson. I think it was Jacksonville. I think I watched, but yeah, man, just getting a chance to really see him. I watched that game and I watched him versus Washington, and I was just like,
was that his 4 touchdown one?
Yeah, I think that was that one.
Okay,
like he just looked good. Now, granted, don't just see 4 touchdowns thing because a lot of times with Washington in their secondary, a lot of blown coverages. I don't know why I was watching Washington. It's just like. Oh, because I was watching my young boy Jimmy Moreland, JMU guy, and I was watching him versus Daniel Jones. I was watching them versus Dak Prescott. And it's like at times they do good stuff, but they have a lot of blown coverages and a lot of the touchdowns they gave up are all for that. But Daniel Jones just looks good though, man, in terms of like just looking comfortable in the pocket. People don't realize how athletic he is too, bro. Like he can move, man. It's sneaky, but he can move, bro. I was surprised by that, man.
Looking back, see, I don't want to get too off track here, but like, do you remember your reaction? Because we weren't together yet.
When they took him over Haskins, right? Yeah.
Like, what did you think? That like,
a lot of people
has he made that much of an improvement of where back then, whenever you saw him on tape, you were like, all right, what he is now wasn't really feasible. Like, he surprised all of us from Duke until now. Or do you think whenever you look back on the Duke tape, like his ascension is kind of what I was expecting?
This is the thing. I think when you're comparing him to an all-world quarterback from Ohio State, it's like, yo, you're playing at Duke. So I think a lot of that kind of went into it because, let's be real, people are bigger fans of Ohio State than they are for Duke football. So when you just look at
probably the numbers too, like Haskins' numbers were ridiculous.
Like, it was stupid. But you also have to remember the people that Haskins was playing with was a lot more talented than what he was doing with Daniel Jones had in Duke. So a lot of that kind of went into when you're looking at, oh man, he has all these numbers. No different than we talked about with Joe Burrow and Tua. It's like, man, these are gaudy numbers. This is crazy. But then you're like, okay, well, who is he playing with? That's kind of going into that whole situation. But I don't think in terms of the surprise element of it, I'm a little surprised that I guess he was able to do it just hopping on a moving train like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's different. Like, if he'd had the full offseason where you knew coming in, like, this is QB1, there is no surprise. Like, this is that, and that. That's one thing. But remember, that wasn't the case last year. You know what I mean? So that part surprised me. But, I mean, when you're watching him, dude, it's like, yo, he has the intangibles, man. He has everything
Can I put you on the spot real quick?
It's whatever, man. Go ahead.
Kyler or Jones going forward?
In terms of what?
Just like, what quarterback do you think is going to be better? Which one would you take?
Well, for me, I'm going to take Daniel Jones because I like bigger quarterbacks. I like guys who I know can see over the line. They're not scheme related. They can just ball. And I think with Daniel Jones, I've seen him in some very bad situations already in terms of the offense pieces around him. When Saquon went out for a little bit, like, it's like, yo, who is really on that offense? Whereas with Kyler Murray, I'm like, even though you got Fitz, he was older, you still had Fitz. Even in the backfield, you had David Johnson. Then after David Johnson, you had Kenyon Drake. So it's like you still have multiple pieces. Christian Kirksey, like, you had pieces around you. You had a scheme that was built just for you. You didn't have the naysayers pulling up one bad clip for you in training camp and trying to make that a national thing. Remember, they see the Daniel Jones throw it. Like, oh my God,
people were rooting for Murray. I think all the buzz around Murray was always going to be positive,
right?
You know, it's but Daniel different. Jones, it was different just because of how he was drafted over Haskins in New York, Eli Manning. There, it was like there was some negative buzz,
And then on top of that, it's like I said, the dude throws one bad pass in training camp. And think about it, we didn't see any passes of him in training camp except that one, and that was a headline. Oh man, they took him over Haskins. So it's like he had it so much harder in terms of what he had to overcome. So that's why if I'm picking between the two, I'm going Daniel Jones solely based off of the fact that he's already handled adversity. He's already been productive with way less around him in a crazy situation. So yeah, I like him a lot. Whereas with Kyler, I think it's been a lot easier for him. He's kind of just still been the prom king the whole time with this scenario, whereas Daniel was really.
I'm sure it'll flip this year. If they underperform out there, people are going to be upset just because of them bringing in and Hopkins.
I don't think it's set up for him to. I think he's going to still be fine when you have a guy like Hopkins. I think now you'll see Kyler ascend to more of the Deshaun Watson type where he can just scramble around and just throw it up sometimes because you have that type of receiver out there. Daniel Jones still doesn't have that though. So that's the thing where I'm like, I still think even though Kyler probably finished with better numbers, I think we will all look back and say, well, he's still Daniel Jones, the better quarterback right now. It's just the situations we talked about. I mean, how a player, Le'Veon Bell, prime example, in an offense where it's talent around him, he thrives. It's not even close. Then you put him in a situation like New York and it's like, dang, it looks bad. But then we saw with James Conner, it was like, oh man, James looked good. But it's like, could you flip-flop them and you think James is going to even have the productivity that Le'Veon had in New York if they were flip-flop? I don't even think that, just because we know how tough it is to do it by yourself, which is what Daniel Jones is having to do right now when Saquon isn't available.
Well, it goes back to even us having Evan Ingram on our list. We think he's going to have a big year.
Yeah.
Like, I know they have a bunch of young, talented receivers, but like I'd say Ingram's the best pass catcher out of all of them.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so that's why we think he could be in store for a big year.
Yes, indeed.
Anything else with these lists, dude?
I enjoyed this. Bro. Heck yeah, man. And I'm glad that we were on the same page, man. It's been a productive week. It's been a productive start to the week. It's been a dope podcast. I'm excited for where we go from here, man. So, we're going to end it on a high note. So we appreciate all the viewers, all the subscribers, appreciate all the listeners, man. Appreciate everybody that showed up to the signing. Shout out to Iron City Sports. Can't think of anybody else to shout out. Shout out to Jason Wright again, man, for being the first Black NFL team president, baby. Let's go watch the football team, baby. So with that being said, man, Until next time.
Peace.